Welcome to the French Wedding Podcast with your host Naïm, the only podcast in English about weddings in France. Great conversations, tips and insights about your French wedding, some wisdom before your big day, and the opportunity to hear wedding professionals actually living and working in France, only for your day to be the most amazing to remember.
Hello everyone and welcome to the French Wedding Podcast. Greetings from France. This is the place where we're recording this show. I'm Naïm, professional ceremony officiant based in my hometown Paris, and I created this show especially for future brides and grooms willing to get married in Paris or anywhere in France. Each episode is an occasion to meet a main actor of the industry, can be a vendor such as a wedding planner, hair and makeup artist, bridal salon, videographer, venue owner, bloggers, you name it. This show exists to bring you some insight about how people do things in France regarding the wedding industry, but we also share funny stories, things to know, and special memories when we happen to work together on the very same wedding. In 2006, my guest decided to buy a piece of land called the Moulin de la Quentinière, located in the beautiful region Mayenne, after literally falling in love with the place, and she never looked back since. Fast forward today, the Kipping family is dedicated to their guests' experience and creating special moments of joy for every couple willing to get married in this little piece of heaven. Let's talk about it with Dorn Kipping on the French Wedding Podcast. Dorn, welcome to the show.
Hello, Naïm.
Thank you so much for being here with me through Zoom, the best sponsor of the confined people in Europe. How are you today? Thank you so much for being here.
I am good. Thank you for inviting me. It's really good to talk to you.
It's a pleasure. I've been looking at your place, and you're actually my first place vendor's location for weddings that I will interview. I was really looking forward to have this time with you. And I'd like to start with the story of the place. What have you been doing and how did it all start?
Well, Le Moulin de la Quentinière, I mean, it started out as a flour mill way back in the 1400s, to be honest with you. And it was briefly occupied in the Second World War. Although it provided mill to the local residents in the surrounding areas, it was typical of a working mill producing high quality stone ground flour. And it's now our fantastic Le Moulin de la Quentinière that we use as a wedding venue and accommodation venue.
I really like the way you pronounce Le Moulin de la Quentinière. I don't know for our French listeners, but this is definitely convinced me before I see the place.
You know what? It's beautiful. I know I'm biased, but when we first saw it, I mean, it was originally owned by the Montecot family, and we saw it in 2006, and we just thought, wow, it's beautiful. Immediately fell in love with it.
When you say we, do you mean, are you a couple, a family?
Yeah, it was myself and my husband, and I've got 2 children. So initially it was only myself and my husband that saw it. But it was, we saw it, loved it, bought it on the spot.
Wow. Interesting. Did you had any previous experience in hospitality or events or?
Yeah, not French hospitality, but yes, I originally worked for a law firm and did a lot of the corporate bookings. So that involved finding venues for the parties and conferences. So I initially did that and thoroughly enjoyed myself. Don't get me wrong, it's hard work. But it's when it all comes together, it's so satisfying. And when you see people are happy and everything comes together and everything's running smoothly, with the occasional hiccup that you have to sort out. But it's great. It's a wonderful feeling.
It is. It is definitely, a hard job to be in this kind of events and hospitality and weddings and even corporates, which is another industry.
Yes.
How did you manage to start from scratch, basically? Because you had your previous experience, but you just had a a really, really genuine love for the place. And then what were the steps?
Well, to be honest with you, like you said, we fell in love with it, and initially we're going to have it as a holiday home. But when you see the size of Le Moulin de la Quentinière, I mean, it's huge. We're talking about 9,500 square foot of space.
Yeah.
And when you see
Quite a lot.
I mean, there's a little house, well, what we call a little house, and there's Le Moulin, which is the bigger property. And it really lends itself to having people there, having people in it. How would you say, sort of celebrating it and enjoying it, and it's almost like it opens up and welcomes you. You know, it gives you a big hug and says, "Yes, come on in, enjoy yourself, come on, celebrate with me." And it's really it's really hard to explain, but it's not the sort of place where you just have like mom and dad and a couple of kiddies. It's a place where it absolutely resonates when there's people inside, laughter, enjoying themselves. You know, we've had plenty of parties and celebrations, be it families, be it wedding receptions, and it just blossoms, it glows when there's people there enjoying themselves. It comes alive, and we wanted to share that with people. And initially we were asked by a member of the community if we would be happy to open it up for his daughter's wedding celebrations. We were like, oh yeah, why not? Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, you know, it's the sort of event that it's just wonderful. I mean, you know, we're not tax inspectors or something. You know, people actually come to us because they want to. So being asked to be part of somebody's celebration of finding their partner and celebrating the love they have for their partner. I mean, that's just blessings raining down on you. And we started from there and thought, yes, this is what we want to do. We want to be part of this. We're just greedy.
I love it. This is really nice. I really like to when vendors and people in the wedding industry, they have a vision about weddings, receptions, sharing moments of joy and all this type of things. And so you bought it in 2006, you said?
Yeah, it was December 2006.
And then did you put in place all the staff that you need, or this kind of thing, or are you running it properly? Drive me through this.
It was generic, really. Like you said, initially, Le Moulin was still derelict. After they stopped using it as a flour mill, it sort of just fell into disrepair, I suppose. So initially, we refurbished Le Moulin. And we had in mind how we wanted it to look, how we wanted it to feel. And we very much asked family and friends to come over and road test it, I suppose. So as we did the renovations, it was very much a case of, okay, well, what do we need for, you know, a wedding reception? What do we need for the bridal suite? What do we need for guest accommodation? So you sort of road test things, you know, you put things in place and see if that works. You get feedback, like I said, from family and friends, you know, whereby they'll say, well, actually, would have been good if we could have had this, or, oh, that was a really good idea. So from there, it was very generic. We then, you know, outsourced, you know, locals to come in rather than, you know, I don't know. We asked around who would be interested to come and work with us, not for us, with us, to help create our vision of how we wanted to, you know, facilitate, you know, the needs and the wants of couples that were coming in. And we've got a great team now, fantastic team, and they're all as passionate about Le Moulin de la Quentinière as we are. They see it as their baby, really, so which is great because they look after it, and it's very personable to them. And you know, they're very much there and willing to work with all of the couples to achieve what they want to achieve. I mean, we just want to, you know, make people happy, and it's great when it all comes to pass. You know, it's just,
I can see it. Yeah, well, you can see it on the pictures on your website. You can see that this is not only a beautiful place; it's also a place with a soul and a big history, I think, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You see that. I mean, it's not your usual wedding venue. I'll put my hands up to that. But it comes into its own. It's different. It's unique, and it's what you make it. It's like I said. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful venue, and you know, beautiful people can come along and enjoy it. It's as simple as that. And we are there just to facilitate what they want. Like
Yeah.
you said, we
So,
have our wedding partners. So we have
mhm.
caterers and florists and hair and makeup stylists and cake makers and, you know,
Everyone, the
everyone.
whole circus.
Yes, definitely. And they all work with us. You know, it's not a case of, oh, well, there you go, get on with it. This is all us coming together and just weaving
Yeah,
around the couple to weave their dream. And
that's good.
hopefully that's what we help to create with them.
Talking about the help, can you drive me through the process of a wedding booking?
Okay, well, initially we would have a couple contact us. It may be the bride that comes to us first, and then eventually she might let the groom get a hand in. And then we like to meet up with the couple and we sit down with them and we walk through their ideal wedding celebration scenario. We
Mhm.
would then introduce them to our preferred wedding partners. And then they would put what they want into place, and we would talk about, you know, all the details that we're able to provide to the couples in order to facilitate their needs. We would talk about time scale and whatever else, and it sort of goes from there. So initially, it's the inquiry from the bridegroom or whoever, and then it's the meeting where we can then sit down and talk more into final details, and then work with them through the process.
So you're here with them all along during the process.
Yes, definitely. And
I think it's very important.
yeah, definitely. Thank you. I mean, obviously, we're on the end of the phone. If it's not a case, you know, sometimes it's easy for couples to come to us when they want to discuss something. Sometimes it's just the initial meeting, and then, you know, a lot of things are done via email or phone. But, you know, it's nice to actually have that initial meeting with the couple, sit down with them, and, you know, get a feel. They can get a feel of the place and what we envisage and what they envisage us doing and facilitating, and and then we work from there.
And the time frame, what about it? Because as we all know, it depends on people, but most of the time, from my experience, I've seen people booking 1 year or 1 year and a half, 2 years in advance for their time frame, especially for foreigners. And yeah, what do you think is the time frame for a bride, the ideal time frame for a bride to decide for the event?
Well, to be honest with you, where we can be flexible, it depends on obviously what dates they want and what bookings we already have in place. But
Hmm.
it's hard for me to put a specific time frame on it, to be honest with you. 12
Hmm.
months, some people might say, is a lot. Some people might say, oh, no, it's not enough. I think it depends on how many people they want actually at their wedding with them, where they're coming from. You know, so for instance, if bride and groom are from the UK and they have family in the US that they want to come over,
Right.
I mean, present, you know, sort of climate as it is, we won't discuss that. It's sort of an unusual situation at the moment. But generally speaking, I think it does depend on their invitees, who they want to be there, as to how and when they can get to, you know, our venue. So
Hmm.
it's down to the couple, to be honest with you. I mean, there's obviously things that they want to put in place. So it all depends on, you know, if they just want, you know, themselves, mom, dad, and a couple of friends, then 12 months is more than sufficient. But if they want the world and his dog, then you know, you have to appreciate that the world takes a bit longer to all get to the venue, sort themselves out and
Absolutely.
travel and etc. But like I said, we are flexible with regards to any time frame that the couple have. We, you know,
Yeah.
as long as
Yeah,
it's
very good.
available.
Talking about size, there's actually can be very, very intimate, like
Yes.
very small weddings and almost elopements, but you can also have very kind of middle to medium to big parties there.
Yes, I mean we can sleep up to about 30 guests, including
Hmm.
the bridal couple, and we also can facilitate or, you know, cater for up to about 120 guests inside or outside. Obviously, for spring summer weddings, weather
Hmm.
permitting, we can, you know, erect a marquee in the garden, and have
Okay.
celebrations outside, fairy lights and the music. And it's quite nice actually in the garden. But,
Yeah.
it just depends what the couple have in mind. But I mean, I know it sounds like I'm just bending over backwards and trying to facilitate, but that's what we do. That's what we're here to do. We're not going to impose what we want onto the couple. It's very much, hey, what do you want? How do you see this,
Yeah.
unfolding? And then we do our best to make that come to pass. So yeah.
I really agree with that vision because many of my couples, they're asking me, what do you think we should do? How we should do this and that? Like they're asking me advices, which is kind of normal.
Yes.
But as you said, at the end of the day, this is what I say to all my couples is this is your day, not mine. This is your ceremony, not mine.
Yes.
I can help. I can, like you say, facilitate, but this has to be your way. So I really agree with what you said.
Yeah.
And talking about the location, did you live in France before living in the Moulin La Quentinière?
No, it's really mad. I think like most people, I started out doing the day trip to Calais and going to the supermarkets and buying things and croissants and thinking, oh, this is wonderful. It's a completely new country. And then as stop laughing at me, Naeem.
I'm just really, really enjoying this conversation because I can recognize every aspect of it. So really, really fun for me.
So, it was like, oh, wow. And then, when I met my husband, we used to holiday in France, very much sort of northern France, a lot. And we just thought it was fantastic. France is beautiful. It's a lovely country. And it was just a hop, skip and a jump from the UK. So it was ideal.
Yeah.
The people are really friendly. And I mean, the countryside, it's just amazing. I'm sorry. When you live in a country whereby you're more or less on top of each other, it's lovely to go to France and you've got those rolling pastures, you've got lakes and scenery, and it was just wonderful. So we fell in love with France quite early on. And to be honest with you, when we found, it was just by pure chance, we found Le Moulin de la Quentinière, and it was just an ideal opportunity just to own our tiny little slice of France and be able to enjoy it whenever we wanted. And now we can share it with lots of other people. It's just a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, to add value and show other parts of France to the public instead of only Paris, for example, or Provence.
Definitely,
I think it's a very, very good opportunity to discover this really good region. And what would you say is the future of the Moulin de la Quentinière? Do you have something in mind that you want to plan or add, or any projects that you want to share?
Naeem, now you've got me.
Usually this is where the conversation goes like, oh my God, I have so many things in mind, or maybe nothing, which is good. Trying to pass this year, maybe. That would be a good project for everyone.
Warned me. To be honest with you, once this year is scrubbed out of my memory, it will be fantastic just to look forward to welcome more couples to Le Moulin de la Quentinière, to welcome families and lots of friends and guests. And to be honest with you, a lot of the guests that we've had have now become friends. It's not the sort of place where it's very formal and we sort of hands off. It's like, come on, you're our friends, let's have a hug. And to be honest with you, I see more of the same. We've added as and when we feel the need. So we've got a barbecue area outside now and a pétanque pitch because, families have come along and couples have come along and said, you know what, it would be really good if after we've had the ceremony, there was stuff to do afterwards. So, we've got the leisure complex there with the pool, the gym, the jacuzzi, the games room with snooker table, table tennis table, pool table. And then, like I said, couples have said, it's great to go outside, have a barbecue. We've got the barbecue area. We've got the pétanque pitch. And, if couples have said to us, look, we like the idea of whatever, a marquee outside. Great, yeah, let's get a marquee outside. And I think we're very much open to suggestions from anyone who comes along and visits and enjoys being there with us, and they think it will enhance their stay with us. But for the future of Le Moulin, like I said, more of the same. It would be we're more than happy to welcome more couples, and like I said, we're blessed if they're happy to come to us and let us share in their celebrations. It's what more can you could wish for.
Definitely agree with that. I'm sure it will get better very soon. Anyway, we don't have any other option to keep smiling and keep looking at the horizon and stay positive.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about Le Moulin de la Quentinière. I can't say it with your lovely accent. Sorry, I'm too French.
Not at all.
It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank
you. I will put every detail of this great place in the show notes for everyone to check it out. And is there something that you want to add before we go?
Well, before we go, I think I should add that we do actually have a competition on at the moment. Like I said, they are strange times at the moment, and we appreciate that there are a lot of couples out there whose plans have been scuppered or put on hold. So we are offering one lucky couple, a free wedding at Le Moulin de la Quentinière at any date that is available up until 2023. So if couples want to, apply to our competition, then I'm sure you'll put the details in your podcast notes. And we would be happy to help facilitate the dreams of one lucky VIP couple and for free. And anyone else anyway who's interested in coming along and sharing with us, then please, by all means, send us a note, get in contact with us. But like I said, one lucky VIP couple come along and have a free wedding on us.
That's very good. Sounds good. I will put all the info in the show notes once again. Dorn, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today, and I'll see you soon, maybe.
Thank you, Naeem. I look forward to meeting you.
Hey guys, thanks again for listening to the show today. You can find more information on our guests in the show notes, as well as my contact and my website. If you have any questions regarding your French wedding, I'm happy to help. Also, please do not hesitate to leave a review for the show. There's also a link for that. That will literally take 1 minute of your precious time and will mean the world to me. I always appreciate your support. Thank you again very much for your time and feedback. Wishing you a great day or a great night anywhere you are in the world. I send you some good vibrations, and we'll talk to you again soon for a new episode. Bye bye.